The Expendables 3 stands as a paradoxical monument in the landscape of 21st century action cinema. Released in 2014, it was intended to be the triumphant continuation of a franchise designed to resurrect the bombastic, hypermasculine, and gloriously violent action films of the 1980s and 1990s. Instead, it became a cautionary tale about the dangers of chasing a broader demographic at the expense of one's core identity. The film's journey from conception to release is a story of ambition, compromise, and a fundamental misunderstanding of what made its predecessors successful. It attempted to do the impossible, to modernize the old guard without alienating them, to bring in a younger audience without losing the nostalgic appeal, and to tell a more complex story while still delivering the expected explosive set pieces. This in-depth analysis will deconstruct The Expendables 3, examining it not just as a standalone film, but as a cultural artifact. We will explore its plot in exhaustive detail, scrutinize its characters, dissect its production history, analyze the critical and commercial reception, and investigate the fascinating what-ifs that surround its troubled legacy. By the end, we will answer the central question: is The Expendables 3 a valiant but flawed attempt to evolve, or is it the definitive example of a franchise losing its way? Part 1. The plot. A detailed exegesis. Act 1. The rescue of Dr. Death. The film opens with a classic Expendables scenario, a high-octane, mid-air rescue that sets the tone for the team's capabilities. We are introduced to our heroes mid-mission, not in a quiet briefing room, but in the middle of a chaotic, adrenaline-fueled extraction. The target is Dr. Death, Wesley Snipes, a former expendable and a medic, being transported via a heavily armored train through a hostile, dictator-controlled territory. The sequence is a direct homage to the opening of The Expendables 2, where the team rescued Trench, but with a key difference. This time, they are rescuing one of their own. The rescue is a testament to the team's synergy. Barney Ross, Sylvester Stallone, and Lee Christmas, Jason Statham, orchestrate a mid-air assault, leaping from a plane to land on the moving train. The choreography is gritty and practical, utilizing the tight confines of the train cars to create a sense of claustrophobic danger. Gunner Jensen, Dolph Lundgren, provides explosive support from the air, while Toll Road, Randy Couture, demonstrates his demolition expertise. The sequence is efficient, brutal, and serves as a perfect reintroduction to these characters, reminding the audience why they are the best at what they do. The extraction of Dr. Death is crucial for several narrative reasons. First, it establishes the team's loyalty to their own, a theme that will be tested later. Second, it introduces us to a character who is not just a skilled fighter but also a medic, adding a layer of strategic depth to the team. Third, it provides a natural segue to the next mission, intercepting a shipment of bombs in Somalia. Act 2. The betrayal of Conrad Stonebanks. The mission in Somalia is where the film's central conflict crystallizes. The team, now bolstered by Dr. Death, arrives at a drop point to intercept what they believe is a shipment of conventional arms for a warlord. They are met by Hale Caesar, Terry Crews, who has been on the ground gathering intel. The setup is classic Expendables. A seemingly straightforward extraction mission turns into a much larger conflict. When the firefight erupts, it becomes immediately apparent that this is no ordinary arms deal. The firepower is advanced, the tactics are professional, and the leader of the opposing force is a ghost from Barney's past, Conrad Stonebanks, Mel Gibson. Stonebanks is not just a generic villain, he is a co-founder of the Expendables, a man who was once Barney's brother in arms. This revelation adds a deeply personal dimension to the conflict. The scene where Stonebanks is revealed is one of the film's most effective. Gibson's performance is charismatic and menacing, conveying a sense of betrayal and righteous anger. He accuses Barney of abandoning him when he went rogue, framing his descent into arms, dealing as a natural evolution of their shared profession. This dialogue is crucial, as it lays the groundwork for the film's central theme, the cost of violence and the blurred lines between soldier and mercenary. The ensuing firefight is a showcase of the team's destructive capabilities. However, it ends in disaster. Stonebanks, having anticipated the Expendables' arrival, has set a trap. He uses a high-tech explosive device dropped from a helicopter to turn the tide of the battle. In the chaos, Caesar is critically injured, a moment that shatters Barney's confidence and forces a dramatic retreat. Act 3. the disbandment, and the new recruits. Back in the United States, the team is at a low point. Caesar is in a coma, and Barney is consumed by guilt. The introduction of CIA agent Max Drummer, Harrison Ford, provides a new directive: capture Stonebanks and bring him to the International Criminal Court. This mission is not just about vengeance, it's about justice. Drummer's presence signifies a shift from the mercenary ethos of the previous films to a more globally responsible and sanitized perspective. This is where the film makes its most controversial narrative decision. Blaming himself for Caesar's injuries, Barney makes the reckless and emotionally charged decision to disband the original Expendables. He believes that his team is outdated, that their methods are too dangerous, and that a new, more agile, and less emotionally attached team is needed to hunt down Stonebanks. This is a pivotal moment that fundamentally changes the dynamic of the franchise. Barney's journey to Las Vegas to recruit Bonaparte, Kelsey Grammer, is a deliberate, almost melancholic step. It's a rejection of his family, a replacement of his brothers. His interaction with Bonaparte is starkly different from his interactions with the original team. There is no camaraderie, no shared history, just a professional transaction. Bonaparte, a tired and cynical recruiter, represents the disposable nature of a modern mercenary force. The introduction of the young blood, John Smiley, Kellan Lutz, Luna, Ronda Rousey, Thorne, Glen Powell, and Mars, Victor Ortiz, is a symbolic passing of the torch. They are younger, faster, and more technologically proficient. Smiley is the all-American soldier, Luna is the brute force, Thorne is a hacker/drone pilot representing the modern battlefield, and Mars is a tech-savvy weapons expert. They are a product of the post-9/11 world, fighting with drones and computers rather than knives and sheer muscle. However, they are also unproven and naive. Barney is forced to become a mentor, a role he is ill-suited for. He treats them with a dismissive harshness, seeing them merely as tools for his mission, not as potential members of his extended family. The recruitment montage, set to classic rock, feels like a pale imitation of the original team's introduction, lacking the same gravitas and legendary status. Act 4, the capture and the revelation. The new team's mission to capture Stonebanks in Bucharest is a showcase of their different skill sets. The infiltration of the heavily guarded office building is well executed, utilizing Thorne's hacking skills, Luna's physical prowess, and Smiley's tactical planning. The plan works, and they successfully capture Stonebanks. However, the capture is a Pyrrhic victory. In the transport van, Stonebanks taunts Barney, revealing the reasons for his betrayal. He argues that the Expendables were always a lie, that their self-righteousness was a mask for their own bloodlust. He calls Barney out, forcing him to confront his own nature. This interrogation scene is the film's moral core. Gibson delivers a speech that questions the entire premise of the franchise, suggesting that the heroes are no better than the villains. It's a moment of deep introspection, forcing the audience to consider whether the Expendables are, in fact, just a more glamorous version of the arms dealers they hunt. Barney's near execution of Stonebanks is a moment of intense emotional turmoil. He is on the verge of abandoning his principles, of becoming the very thing he hunts. But he stops, a sign that he still clings to a moral code. Unfortunately for Barney, his restraint is his undoing. Stonebanks' GPS tracker leads his men to the van, and the new team is captured. Act 5, the return of the veterans. Barney's escape from the river and his confrontation with Stonebanks' retrieval team is a solo action sequence that harkens back to Stallone's Rambo days. It's brutal, visceral, and effective. However, it's also a stark reminder of his isolation. He has no one to rely on but himself. When Stonebanks sends the video challenging Barney, it sets the stage for the film's finale. Barney, preparing to go it alone, is confronted by Galgo, Antonio Banderas, a character he had previously dismissed. Galgo's relentless enthusiasm and offers of assistance are a stark contrast to Barney's grim determination. He is the comedic relief and the underdog, a character who refuses to be ignored. Barney's acceptance of Galgo is followed by the emotional reunion of the original Expendables. Their decision to join the fight is portrayed as an act of loyalty. When you're in, they say, a mantra that defines their brotherhood. This is the moment the film acknowledges its error. The original team is not outdated, they are the heart of the franchise. The rescue of the young team is swift, but it reveals a crucial truth. Stonebanks is always 2 steps ahead. He has rigged the location with explosives, giving the team only 45 seconds to escape. The ensuing conflict is not just with Stonebanks' men, but between the veterans and the new recruits. This internal conflict is a microcosm of the film's central tension. The veterans mock the recruits for their lack of experience, while the recruits accuse the veterans of being relics. Act 6, the final battle and redemption. The decision to work together is the film's climax. The jammer device, which delays the detonation, is a classic action movie contrivance, but it serves its purpose to unite the 2 teams. The final battle is a massive, sprawling action sequence that throws everything at the screen. Tanks, helicopters, and countless henchmen are all on the table. The arrival of Max Drummer and Trench Mauser, Arnold Schwarzenegger, with Yin Yang, Jet Li, in tow, is a deus ex machina that simultaneously reinforces the franchise's reliance on nostalgia and provides a spectacular visual moment. The iconic trio of Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and Ford sharing the same frame is a movie buff's dream. The final confrontation between Barney and Stonebanks is a brutal hand-to-hand fight. It's a stark, intimate battle that strips away the glamour of gunfire and explosives. Both men are evenly matched, reflecting their shared past. It's a fight for survival and for the soul of the Expendables. Stonebanks' final question to Barney about delivering him to the International Criminal Court is a final temptation. Barney could finally adhere to the rule of law, proving that he has risen above his mercenary nature. But he doesn't. He shoots Stonebanks coldly. This is not justice, it's vengeance. It's a moment of profound ambiguity. Barney has won, but he has done so by embracing the very thing he was trying to escape. It's a dark, bleak ending that undermines the idea that he is any different from the man he just killed. The explosion of the building, the team's escape, and Caesar's recovery are all standard action movie resolutions. The final scene at the bar is meant to be a celebration, a moment of unity for the combined team. But it feels hollow. The wounds are still raw. The decision to kill Stonebanks in cold blood hangs over the proceedings. The inclusion of Galgo, Smiley, Luna, Thorne, and Mars into the team feels less like a natural evolution and more like a forced integration. The veterans, symbols of a bygone era. Barney Ross, Sylvester Stallone. The heart and soul of the franchise, Barney Ross is more than just a leader. He is the embodiment of a specific type of masculinity. He is the aging warrior who is unwilling to accept his mortality. He is physically strong but emotionally vulnerable, a man who has seen too much and lost too many friends. In The Expendables 3, his journey is one of self-doubt and redemption. His decision to disband the team is an act of misguided sacrifice, his attempt to protect his brothers by pushing them away. By the end, he realizes that he needs them and they need him. However, his final act of killing Stonebanks rather than capturing him compromises his moral authority, leaving a bitter aftertaste. Lee Christmas, Jason Statham, the second in command. Christmas is the relentless, efficient, and deadly knife expert. He is the action hero's action hero, a man who is always in control. He doesn't have a major emotional arc in this film, but he serves as the anchor of the team. He is the pragmatist who questions Ross's decisions, and the fighter who never backs down. Statham's physicality and charisma make him the MVP of the film. Dr. Death, Wesley Snipes. A welcome addition to the team, Dr. Death brings a much-needed edge. Snipes, recently released from prison, embraces his role as a hardened killer. He is a medic by trade, but a killer by nature, a duality that makes him one of the most compelling characters in the film. Gunnar Jensen, Dolph Lundgren, the volatile, chemically inclined member of the team. He is a walking arsenal with a tortured past. In The Expendables 3, he is a source of both comic relief and unexpected wisdom. His interactions with the new team, particularly his brief scene with Mars, highlight the generational divide. Hale Caesar, Terry Crews, the heavy weapons specialist and the team's physical powerhouse. Caesar is the one who suffers the most in this film. His injury is the catalyst for Barney's crisis of conscience. He is the physical representation of the collateral damage of their lifestyle. Yin Yang Jet Li, the martial arts expert. His role is significantly reduced in this installment, appearing only as a cameo in the final battle. This was a disappointment for fans, but it reflects the franchise's shift away from pure martial arts and towards a more generic, gun-heavy action style. Trench Mauser, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the friendly rival who helps Barney on more than one occasion. His one-liners and sheer presence are a huge part of the film's appeal. He represents the pinnacle of 80s action cinema, and his mere appearance in a scene elevates the material. The New Blood, the future that never was. Galgo, Antonio Banderas, the comedic heart of the film. Galgo is the verbose, enthusiastic, and surprisingly skilled sharpshooter. He is a parody of the one-man army trope, constantly talking about his skills rather than demonstrating them. Banderas' performance is a highlight, bringing much-needed levity. John Smiley, Kellan Lutz, the young leader of the new team. Smiley is the all-American soldier, a Marine who is proficient in everything. He is a blank slate, devoid of the quirks and personality of the veteran Expendables. He is meant to represent the future, but he lacks the gravitas to fill that role. Luna, Ronda Rousey, the female powerhouse. Rousey's casting was a progressive move for the franchise, but her character is underwritten. She is strong, tough, and proficient, but she is given little to do besides fight. She is a token inclusion, a box to be ticked rather than a character to be developed. Thorne, Glen Powell, the tech expert. Thorne represents the modern battlefield, a hacker who can disable a building's security systems and control a drone. However, he is portrayed as arrogant and cowardly, a stereotype of the geek who is out of his depth in a physical fight. Mars, Victor Ortiz, the weapons expert. Ortiz was primarily a boxer, and his performance is limited. Mars is a cipher, a character defined only by his skill with firearms. The villain, a study in moral ambiguity. Conrad Stonebanks, Mel Gibson, the franchise's best villain. Stonebanks is not a cackling, mustache-twirling antagonist. He is a mirror image of Barney. He is charismatic, intelligent, and ruthless, but he is also deeply wounded. His betrayal of the Expendables was not a choice but a necessity, or so he believes. He forces the team to confront their own nature, challenging their self-righteousness. Gibson's performance is captivating, adding a layer of complexity and depth that the franchise had previously lacked. The supporting cast: Bonaparte, Kelsey Grammer, a cameo that doesn't quite work. Grammer, a television legend, feels miscast as a hardened mercenary recruiter. The attempt to inject some dramatic weight with his character feels forced. Agent Max Drummer, Harrison Ford. Ford's inclusion is a moment of pure fan service. He brings his trademark gravitas to the role, providing a sense of legitimacy and authority to the proceedings. However, his character, like Schwarzenegger's, is more of a cameo than a fully fleshed out role. Part 3. A critical review. The good, the bad, and the ugly the good. What the film gets right. The cast chemistry. When the original team is on screen, the film works. The camaraderie between Stallone, Statham, Lundgren, and Snipes is palpable. They feel like a real team of grizzled veterans who have been through hell together. The dialogue, albeit clunky at times, is filled with an affectionate ribbing that suggests a deep bond. Mel Gibson's performance. Gibson is the film's secret weapon. He is menacing, charming, and captivating. He elevates the material, turning a standard action movie villain into a complex, almost tragic figure. The action sequences, the set pieces are well constructed. The train rescue, the Somalia firefight, and the Bucharest infiltration are all well choreographed and exciting. The final battle, while a bit messy and overlong, delivers the requisite spectacle. Antonio Banderas' comic relief, Banderas, is a breath of fresh air. His manic energy and rapid-fire dialogue are a welcome change of pace from the stoic, grunting veterans. He is the only new character who truly feels like he belongs in this world. The bad, the flaws that derail the film. The PG-13 rating. This is the single biggest issue with the film. The Expendables franchise was built on hard R violence. It was a nostalgia trip to a time when action heroes were allowed to be brutal and blood-soaked. The PG-13 rating neuters the action, making the gunfights feel weightless and the violence cartoonish. A headshot no longer has any impact, it's just a puff of dust. The lack of blood and gore robs the film of its visceral power. The disbandment of the original team, this narrative decision is a disaster. It alienates the fan base and undermines the central premise of the franchise. The appeal of the Expendables was always the brotherhood of the veterans. To shove them aside in favor of bland, uninteresting new characters is a betrayal of the audience. The bland young blood. The new team of mercenaries is painfully generic. Lutz, Powell, and Ortiz have none of the charisma or screen presence of their older counterparts. Their dialogue is forgettable, their motivations are murky, and their skills are never fully showcased. They feel like they were created by a committee to appeal to a younger demographic, and they fail spectacularly. The pacing, the film sags in the middle. The recruitment montage and the training scenes are tedious. The film takes too long to get to the final confrontation, and the detours to introduce and develop the new team are ultimately uninteresting. The dull direction. Patrick Hughes' direction is competent but uninspired. He lacks the flair and energy of Simon West, The Expendables 2. The film has a flat, made-for-TV look at times. He doesn't have a strong visual identity, making the action feel more like a generic blockbuster than a gritty throwback. The ugly. The legacy of failure. The combination of a PG-13 rating and the sidelining of the original cast was a fatal miscalculation. It was an attempt to have it both ways, to appeal to both nostalgic older fans and a new younger audience. In the end, it pleased neither. The older fans felt betrayed by the neutered violence and the focus on characters they didn't care about. The younger audience was not interested in seeing a film filled with actors their parents grew up with. The film was a commercial disappointment, grossing significantly less than its predecessors. Part 4. Production and behind-the-scenes facts development and writing. The shifting vision. The film went through numerous script iterations. Stallone, who is a prolific writer, was deeply involved in the development. He wanted to make the film more humorous, with moments of drama, and introduce younger actors. The pursuit of stars. The casting process for The Expendables 3 was a saga in itself. The producers attempted to sign many iconic action stars with varying degrees of success. Steven Seagal. In April 2012, he confirmed he was offered a role but ultimately did not appear. Nicolas Cage was signed for a role but dropped out. Jackie Chan was in advanced negotiations but ultimately passed due to scheduling conflicts. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Stallone considered having him return. The Who's In, Who's Out shuffle. Bruce Willis was a major part of the first 2 films but famously dropped out of the third due to a salary dispute. It was reported that he was offered $3 million for 4 days of work in Bulgaria, but demanded $4 million. This led to a public falling out, and Stallone infamously took to social media to criticize Willis. Harrison Ford was brought in to replace him. The director's chair. Patrick Hughes' selection. The choice of Australian director Patrick Hughes was a surprising one. He had only directed one feature film before, the low-budget thriller Red Hill. Stallone praised his vision for the film, but the final product suggests Hughes was perhaps not seasoned enough to handle the massive ensemble and the high-octane action. Principal photography. Bulgaria as the backdrop. The film was shot primarily at the New Boyana Film Studios in Sofia, Bulgaria, and on location in the country. The studio is a well-known hub for low to mid-budget action films. Stunt gone wrong. Jason Statham survived a significant mishap during filming. He was driving a truck when its brakes failed, plunging the vehicle into the Black Sea. Statham managed to swim to the surface, shaken but unharmed. The unauthorized leak. A disaster of epic proportions. On July 25, 2014, a DVD-quality screener of the film leaked online, a full 3 weeks before its theatrical release. This was a catastrophic event for the film's box office prospects. The severity. The leak was estimated to have been downloaded over 2 million times in the first week. The quality was good enough for casual viewers to watch, significantly undercutting the film's value. Lionsgate's response. The studio filed a lawsuit against several torrent and file hosting sites. The legal fallout was messy, with some sites shutting down operations entirely. The most significant impact, however, was the damage to the film's opening weekend box office. The rating controversy. Stallone's blunder. The decision to aim for a PG-13 rating was Stallone's, in a bid to reach a wider audience. He argued that the violence was implied rather than graphic. The hypocrisy. Stallone announced at Cannes that he was aiming for PG-13. However, the first cut of the film was given an R rating, requiring him to make cuts to achieve the PG-13 rating. This demonstrates a fundamental misunderstanding of the franchise's core appeal. Fan outrage. The news was met with immediate backlash from fans who felt the franchise was being neutered. Stallone's regret. Stallone has since admitted that the PG-13 rating was a horrible miscalculation. Domestic flop. The film grossed a paltry $39.3 million in North America, a massive drop from the $85 million of the first film and the $85 million of the second. International success. The film performed much better internationally, grossing $175.3 million. The China factor. A significant portion of the international gross came from China, where the film grossed over $50 million. China became a crucial market for the franchise. The bottom line, with an estimated budget of $90 to $100 million, the film was a box office disappointment, grossing $214.7 million worldwide. It was the lowest grossing film in the franchise until the release of Expendables. Critical response. A panned effort. Aggregator scores. The film holds a 32% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a score of 35 on Metacritic, both indicating generally unfavorable reviews. Critics' consensus. Critics pan the film for its over-reliance on nostalgia, its bland action, and its unnecessary focus on a forgettable new cast. Common critiques. Many reviews noted that the film was boring and soulless, and that it failed to capture the old-school fun of its predecessors. The downgrade to PG-13 was widely cited as a major flaw. Audience reception. Cinema score. Despite the critical drubbing, audiences gave the film an A- grade on Cinema Score, suggesting that the fans who did see it generally enjoyed it. However, the poor word of mouth and the leaked copy meant that fewer audiences turned out. Part 6. The Unmaking of a Franchise. Expendables and the Legacy. The failure of the Expendables 3 sent the franchise into a long hiatus. It would be nearly a decade before a fourth film, Expendables, was released in 2023. The fourth film attempted to course correct in some ways, restoring the R rating, while making other decisions that baffled fans, sidelining Stallone, replacing the beloved cast with younger actors like 50 Cent and Megan Fox. It was an even bigger disaster than the Expendables 3. The Expendables disaster. Expendables was savaged by critics and bombed at the box office, grossing only $51 million against a $100 million budget. It seemed to confirm that the franchise had completely lost its identity. The core problem, the franchise's fundamental problem, is that it is built on nostalgia. The novelty of seeing these iconic actors together on screen was the entire selling point. Once that novelty wore off, the films had to stand on their own merits, and they simply weren't good enough. A different ending. Sylvester Stallone has expressed regret that the franchise didn't end with the Expendables 3 on a more definitive note, allowing the characters to ride off into the sunset. Instead, it has become a cautionary tale about milking a franchise for too long. Part 7. The Unmade Films and the Lost Potential of the Original Expendables 4 concept. After the Expendables 3, Stallone had floated several ideas for a fourth film. One concept involved the team going up against a villain who was a tech billionaire with a private army. Another involved a massive budget of $200 million and a smaller cast, focusing solely on Stallone, Statham, and Schwarzenegger. These ideas, which might have been more focused and personal, were ultimately abandoned. The Expendables spin-off. A spin-off featuring an all-female team of mercenaries, titled The Expendables, was announced in 2012. Stallone was set to produce, and a script was commissioned. However, the project stalled in development. In the wake of the #MeToo movement and the success of other female-led action films, there was renewed interest, but nothing came to fruition. The concept might have been a way to expand the universe and attract a different audience. The Men of War crossover. A crossover film between the Expendables and a team of villains from other properties, tentatively titled Men of War, was in development in 2017. The idea was to pit the heroes against villains played by actors like Jackie Chan, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and possibly even Bruce Willis. This would have been an epic, Marvel-style event for action movie fans, but it also stalled. What could have been? The failure of The Expendables 3 and the subsequent collapse of the franchise is a tragedy. The potential was immense. A true, big-budget, Avenger-style crossover with all the major action stars of the 80s and 90s uniting against a common enemy could have been a global phenomenon. Instead, the franchise succumbed to studio meddling and creative cowardice, slowly dying in a series of diminishing returns. The Expendables 3 is a film that, for all its flaws, is more interesting in its failures than many successful films are in their triumphs. It is a fascinating case study of a franchise that lost its way. It tried to be everything to everyone, and ended up being nothing to anyone. The film's problems are multifaceted. The PG-13 rating was a creative and commercial disaster. The decision to sideline the original team was a narrative miscalculation. The young blood were poorly cast, underwritten and uninteresting. The direction was flat and uninspired. The story was overstuffed and felt like a compromise. Yet, amidst the wreckage, there are moments of brilliance. The sheer presence of the veteran cast is enough to generate excitement. Mel Gibson's performance as Stonebanks is a masterclass in villainy, elevating the material. Antonio Banderas provides a much-needed burst of energy. The action, when it works, is loud and violent, though neutered by the rating. The ultimate tragedy of The Expendables 3 is that it could have been so much more. It was a film with the potential to be a definitive statement on the action genre, a meditation on aging and obsolescence, and a final, glorious victory lap for a generation of action heroes. Instead, it became a cautionary tale, a symbol of what happens when a franchise is driven by market research rather than a clear, passionate vision. As the Expendables franchise limps into the future, the shadow of the Expendables 3 looms large. It serves as a reminder of the importance of staying true to your identity, of understanding your audience, and of the dangers of trying to please everyone. In the end, The Expendables 3 is not just a bad movie, it's a sad one. A missed opportunity that will forever be remembered as the film that killed the franchise's momentum and tarnished its legacy. Part 10. Additional facts and trivia. The cast's real-life history. The film is a reunion of sorts. Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Harrison Ford had all worked together before, though not extensively. Wesley Snipes and Dolph Lundgren had also co-starred. The one-liners. The film contains numerous callbacks and in-jokes referencing the actors' previous films. Examples include Schwarzenegger's "I'll be back," parroted, Stallone's "It's not personal, it's just business," and Gibson's references to his own controversial past. The soundtrack. The score by Brian Tyler is a bombastic, orchestral piece that pays homage to classic action movie scores, attempting to elevate the action. The soundtrack also features classic rock songs that provide a nostalgic backdrop. The high-tech gadgets. A major difference from the previous films is the inclusion of high-tech gadgets. The drone used by Thorne, the tracking devices, and the explosive devices are a far cry from the more practical weaponry of the first two films. The deleted scenes. The extended cut on Blu-ray adds back some character moments and a few extra action beats. It doesn't fundamentally change the film. Gibson's return. Mel Gibson's casting was a controversial one, given his well-documented personal and legal troubles. However, his performance in the film was widely praised, demonstrating his undeniable acting ability. Willis versus Ford. The public spat with Bruce Willis and the recruitment of Harrison Ford was one of the most talked-about aspects of the film's production. Stallone and Willis have since reconciled. The music video. A music video for the film's theme song, The Expendables 3 theme, by Brian Tyler, features clips from the movie. It tries to capture the epic, grand feel of the film. The pop art posters. The marketing campaign for the film featured 16 character posters in a pop art style, further emphasizing the event film nature of the release. The tank scene. The scene at the Cannes Film Festival where the cast drove down the Croisette in military vehicles was a memorable publicity stunt. The leak's impact on piracy. The leak served as a stark reminder for studios of the vulnerabilities of digital distribution. It also highlighted the importance of early screenings and security. A missed opportunity for an R-rated cut. Despite fan petitions and calls for a director's cut restoring the R rating, Lionsgate never released one. The PG-13 cut is the only officially released version, a decision that remains a point of contention among fans. Part 11. The future of the franchise. Expendables, a new low. Released in 2023, Expendables, stylized as Expendables, was meant to be a franchise reboot/sequel. It featured a much smaller budget and a cast that had more rappers and YouTubers than iconic action stars. Sylvester Stallone had a reduced role, and the film focused on Jason Statham's Lee Christmas. critical and commercial failure, the film was a disaster on every level. It holds a 14% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes and was a box office bomb, becoming the worst-performing film in the franchise by a significant margin. What it represents, Expendables is the final nail in the coffin. It proves that the franchise had completely lost its identity. It's a sad, soulless cash grab that fails to capture even a sliver of the magic of the first film. The legacy of the Expendables 3. The franchise's downfall can be traced directly to the creative decisions made in the Expendables 3. It was the film that alienated the fan base, introduced forgettable characters, and diluted the franchise's appeal. It was the turning point, a moment of hubris that led to a spectacular crash and burn. Part 12, Final Verdict. The Expendables 3 is a fascinating failure. It's a film that tries so hard to be many things that it ends up being nothing. It's a half-hearted attempt to modernize a franchise that was, by definition, retro. If you are a die-hard fan of the cast and simply want to see them together on screen, there is some enjoyment to be found. Mel Gibson's performance is a highlight, and the original team's chemistry is undeniable. However, for anyone else, The Expendables 3 is a frustrating, neutered, and ultimately disappointing experience. It's a film that will be remembered as a cautionary tale, a reminder that nostalgia can only carry a franchise so far, and that sacrificing your core identity for a broader audience is a surefire path to failure. Before we dive into the minutiae, we must understand the cultural moment. The year was 2014. The world was changing. The global financial crisis was a fading memory, but its scars remained. The war on terror was entering its second decade, with drones replacing boots on the ground. Superhero films had conquered the box office, led by Marvel's interconnected universe. The Avengers, 2012, had redefined what a blockbuster could be, emphasizing quips, colorful costumes, and cosmic stakes. In this landscape, the gritty, R-rated, testosterone-fueled action film seemed like a relic, a dinosaur facing extinction. The Expendables franchise was born as a rebellion against this trend. It was a defiant middle finger to the CGI-heavy, PG-13 world of superheroes. It promised practical effects, squibs, blood squirts, and a celebration of the human body's capacity for destruction. It was the cinematic equivalent of a classic rock concert, a nostalgia trip for men and women who grew up watching Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Willis, and Van Damme. The first film was a modest hit, proving there was a market for this kind of throwback cinema. The second film, with its increased budget and bigger cast, was a genuine success, grossing over $300 million worldwide. The franchise had momentum. It was a legitimate brand. And then, the third film arrived, and it felt like the band had decided to play country music. The core audience, the very people who had built the franchise, felt betrayed. This is the story of that betrayal, the miscalculations that led to it, and the lingering consequences. The film opens not with a whisper, but with a roar. We are in the skies above an unnamed Eastern European country, a generic, bad guy nation that exists solely to be a backdrop for mayhem. The camera focuses on the grim visage of Barney Ross, Stallone, who delivers the film's first line. You know, they say the average person goes to the grave with about 30 years of unused life. This is a grim, existential statement, a man reflecting on his own mortality. He's not just talking about the mission, he's talking about his entire existence. This theme of unused potential, of life wasted, will echo throughout the entire film. The mission is to extract Dr. Death, Wesley Snipes, from a moving train. The train is a fortress on wheels, a symbol of the impenetrable, unfeeling state. The rescue is a masterclass in practical action. We see Stallone and Statham leaping from a plane, their bodies silhouetted against the sky. A shot that is pure, iconic cinema. They land on the train, and the ensuing fight is a brutal, claustrophobic ballet. Statham uses his knife skills with surgical precision, while Stallone relies on brute force and his signature punching style. The sound design is visceral, the clang of metal, the crunch of bone, the stifled screams of the guards. This sequence is more than just an action scene, it's a statement. It tells the audience that the filmmakers understand what made the first two films work. It's practical, it's intense, and it showcases the physicality of the leads. It's also a direct callback to the opening of The Expendables 2, where the team rescued Trench from a moving truck. But here, the stakes are higher. the setting more confined, and the tension more palpable. The introduction of Dr. Death is also significant. Snipes, who had been in legal trouble and had not been in a major film for years, embodies the character with a quiet, coiled intensity. He is a medic, a healer, but he is also a killer. The duality is unsettling. He doesn't just patch wounds, he inflicts them. His first line of dialogue, delivered after a brutal takedown, is a chillingly calm, "I'm a doctor." This is a character who is comfortable in both worlds, a man who understands the fragility of life and the ease with which it can be ended. Chapter 2. The Somali Desert, the Ghost in the Machine. The shift to Somalia is a deliberate change of scenery. The dark, industrial aesthetic of the prison train gives way to the harsh, sun-scorched landscape of the African desert. This is a world of warlords and chaos, a place where there is no law, only power. The team's mission is to intercept a shipment of bombs, a standard good guy objective. But the location is important. The desert is a crucible, a place where truth is exposed and men are stripped to their pretenses. When they meet Hale Caesar, Terry Crews, he provides the intel. Caesar is the heavy weapons specialist, the team's big gun. He represents pure, unadulterated firepower. His presence is a comforting one, a reminder that the Expendables are not just skilled, they are armed to the teeth. The firefight that erupts is the film's first major action set piece. It's a chaotic, sprawling battle. The Expendables use their signature weapons and tactics. Gunner Jensen, Lundgren, unleashes his explosive mayhem. Toll Road, Couture, demonstrates his demolitions expertise. Dr. Death shows off his knife skills. In Yang Lee would have been present, but his absence, he is working with Trench, is felt, a sign that the band is already beginning to break up. But then, the bomb is revealed, and the arms trader is revealed. It's Conrad Stonebanks, Mel Gibson. The moment the mask comes off, the film shifts. It's no longer a standard, good versus evil narrative. It's a deeply personal vendetta. Stonebanks is the co-founder of the Expendables. He is the dark mirror of Barney. He is everything Barney could have become. Stonebanks' dialogue is crafted to cut to the bone. "We built this together, Barney," he says. "You, me, and a handful of others who like to play soldier. We were different. We had a code, but then you went soft." This accusation is the film's central conflict. Did Barney go soft, or did Stonebanks go too far? The action sequence that follows is a masterclass in tension. The Expendables, who are usually the hunters, become the hunted. Stonebanks has anticipated their every move. He uses a remote detonated bomb to turn the tide. Caesar is shot, a bullet striking his abdomen. The sight of Caesar, the team's physical powerhouse, crumpled and bleeding, is a shocking moment. The unthinkable has happened. A member of the Expendables has been mortally wounded, or so it seems. The team is forced to retreat, a humiliating and devastating defeat. They are not just beaten, they are broken. Chapter 3. The Hospital, the Fracture of the Brotherhood. The hospital scene is the emotional nadir of the film. Caesar is in a coma, his life hanging in the balance. The team is assembled in the waiting room, a group of warriors reduced to anxious, grieving men. This is where Barney's character arc truly begins. He is consumed by guilt. He blames himself for Caesar's injuries. He made the call to go to Somalia. He didn't anticipate Stonebanks' trap. The introduction of Mac's drummer, Harrison Ford, provides a new directive. Drummer is a CIA field operations officer, a man who represents order and global responsibility. He gives Barney a choice: capture Stonebanks and bring him to justice. This is the right thing to do, the legal thing to do. But Barney, in his grief, rejects this path. His decision to disband the team is the most controversial moment in the entire franchise. It's an act of self-destruction. He tells his brothers that they are obsolete, that their methods are antiquated. It's a hurtful, dismissive speech. He is not just pushing them away, he is insulting them, diminishing their worth. He has convinced himself that they are the problem, that his love for them is a liability. It's a classic tragic flaw, the hero who believes he must sacrifice his family to save them. The reactions of the team are telling. Lee Christmas, Statham, is the most hurt. He is Barney's right-hand man, his closest friend. He cannot believe Barney is doing this. He storms out, a gesture of silent fury. Gunner Jensen is more philosophical, accepting Barney's decision with a weary resignation. Toll Road is confused, Unable to comprehend the logic, the team disbands, scattering to the four winds. The Brotherhood, the very foundation of the franchise, has been shattered. Barney's journey to Las Vegas to recruit Bonaparte is a surreal detour. Vegas is the city of illusions, a place where nothing is real. It's a fitting setting for a man who is trying to build a new team based on a lie. Bonaparte, Kelsey Grammer, is a retired mercenary recruiter. He is a cynical, world-weary man who sees mercenaries as assets, not people. He provides Barney with a list of young blood recruits. The scenes in Vegas are a stark contrast to the camaraderie of the original team. There is no warmth, no shared history. Bonaparte is simply a tool, a means to an end. The recruitment process is clinical. Find them, evaluate them, and hire them. Barney is treating these new recruits like disposable commodities. The young blood recruits are a diverse group, but they lack a cohesive identity. John Smiley, Kellan Lutz, is a former Marine with a chip on his shoulder. He is proficient but arrogant. Luna, Ronda Rousey, is a nightclub bouncer with a background in martial arts. She is strong and capable, but her role is largely silent. Thorne, Glen Powell, is a hacker and drone pilot. He is the geek of the group, more comfortable with a keyboard than a gun. Mars, Victor Ortiz, is a former U.S. soldier with experience at DARPA, a weapons expert. These characters are archetypes, not people. They are defined by their skills, not their personalities. They are a collection of traits, carefully selected to appeal to a younger demographic. But they have no soul. They lack the history, the baggage, and the charisma of the original team. The training montage is a pale imitation of the original team's bonding. There's no easy banter, no shared jokes. Barney is a harsh, demanding mentor. He is not trying to build a team. He is trying to build a weapon. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of what made the Expendables great. The Expendables are not just skilled killers, they are a family. The young blood are just employees. Chapter 5, Bucharest, the Trap. The mission in Bucharest is a showcase of the young blood's skills. The infiltration of the office building is a textbook operation, a sleek and efficient sequence. Thorne uses his hacking skills to disable the security systems. Smiley and Luna provide the muscle. Mars provides the firepower. It's a testament to their training. They succeed in capturing Stonebanks. But the capture is a hollow victory. The interrogation scene is the film's second major dramatic peak. Stonebanks is not a broken man. He is a philosopher, a man who has thought deeply about his own corruption. He taunts Barney, revealing the truth about their past. "We were never the good guys, Barney," Stonebanks says. "We were just the guys who won. We were killers. We used to enjoy it. Do you remember? The smell of cordite, the screaming, the money. You loved it as much as I did. And then you started pretending you were a soldier, not a mercenary. You started believing your own press. And you left me." This speech is a devastating critique of the entire franchise. It forces Barney to confront the question, what is the difference between the Expendables and the arms dealers they hunt? Both are killers. Both operate outside the law. The only difference is which side they are on. Stonebanks' argument is that there is no right or wrong. There is only power. It's a cynical, nihilistic worldview, but it's one that Barney finds difficult to refute. The van escape is a classic action sequence, but it ends in disaster. Stonebanks' GPS tracker, a tiny device, betrays their location. The van is hit by a missile. Barney is thrown into a river. The young blood are captured. It's another humiliating defeat for Barney. His new team, which he believed was superior to the old one, has proven to be just as fallible. Chapter 6, The Reunion, A Brotherhood Reforged. Barney's solo escape from the river is a brutal reminder of his own skills. He is alone, surrounded by enemies, but he fights his way out with a primal ferocity. It's a sequence that harkens back to Rambo in First Blood, a man against an army. It's also a stark reminder of his isolation. He has no one to rely on but himself. Stonebanks sends a video message, taunting Barney and giving him his location in Asmeniston. It's an obvious trap, but Barney has no choice. He is preparing to go it alone when he is confronted by Galgo, Antonio Banderas. Galgo is a character that was introduced earlier, dismissed by Barney, but he refuses to be ignored. He is the persistent underdog, a man who believes he is a hero even when no one else does. Galgo is the comedic relief, but he is also a symbol of hope. He is an outsider who proves his worth through sheer determination. He is the little guy who fights his way into the big leagues. Banderas' performance is a highlight, infusing the character with a manic energy that cuts through the film's grimness. Barney's acceptance of Galgo is followed by the emotional reunion with the original Expendables. They have decided to rejoin him despite his rejection. This is the moment the film truly begins to redeem itself. The Brotherhood is reforged. The team is together again. The rescue of the young blood is a quick sequence. The veterans show their superiority, dispatching Stonebanks' men with ease. But it's the conversation between the two teams that is the most interesting. The veterans mock the recruits, questioning their experience and their resolve. The recruits defend themselves, calling the veterans dinosaurs. This is the generational conflict that the film has been building towards. Barney's intervention is crucial. He tells them both to stop fighting. He says, "You want to fight each other, or do you want to fight him?" He forces them to see that their internal squabbling is a distraction from the real enemy. This is a moment of leadership. Barney is finally acting like a leader, not just a commander. Chapter 7. The Final Battle. The Fall of Stonebanks. The Final Battle is a sprawling, chaotic masterpiece of action cinema. It's the film's climax, a war zone where tanks, helicopters, and hundreds of henchmen converge on a single building. The action is relentless, a non-stop barrage of gunfire and explosions. The arrival of Max, drummer, and Trench Mauser in a helicopter is a deus ex machina, but it's a welcome one. Schwarzenegger's presence is always a joy, and his one-liners are perfectly timed. The arrival of Yin Yang, Jet Li, is also a welcome sight, though his role is limited. The fight is a team effort. The veterans and the young blood work together. The generational divide is bridged by a shared purpose. The sequence is about the triumph of the Expendables, not just as individuals, but as a team. The final confrontation between Barney and Stonebanks is the film's emotional climax. It's not a gunfight, it's a fistfight. It's a brutal, ugly brawl between two men who were once brothers. It's a fight for survival and for the soul of the Expendables. The fight is filmed with an intimate, claustrophobic intensity. There are no fancy moves, no martial arts acrobatics. It's just two men beating the hell out of each other. It's a raw, primal struggle. When Barney has Stonebanks at his mercy, Stonebanks asks, "Are you going to deliver me to the International Criminal Court? Are you going to be the good guy?" This is the film's final moral test. Barney can prove that he is different, that he is a man of principle, or he can embrace his nature. He shoots him. This decision is a shock. It's a dark, cynical ending. Barney has won, but he has won by becoming the very thing he was fighting against. There is no redemption, no victory. There is only survival. The film ends on a note of profound moral ambiguity. Chapter 8. The Aftermath, a hollow victory. The building explodes, but the team escapes. Caesar recovers from his wounds. The team gathers in a bar for a celebration. Barney officially accepts Galgo, Smiley, Luna, Thorn, and Mars into the team. But the celebration feels hollow. The scars of the battle are still raw. Barney's decision to kill Stonebanks in cold blood hangs over the proceedings. The team is united, but it's a forced unity. The inclusion of the young blood feels less like a natural evolution and more like a compromise. The Expendables are together again, but they are a different team, a team that has been changed by loss and compromise. The tone of the film is one of tempered hope. They have survived, but at what cost? Part 2. Character dossiers, an exhaustive analysis of the veterans, a deeper dive 1. Barney Ross, Sylvester Stallone. Psychological profile. Ross is a man in crisis. He is the product of a lifetime of violence, a man who has traded his humanity for survival. He is a leader, but he is also a loner, a man who cannot truly connect with others because he is too afraid of losing them. His decision to disband the team is a classic act of self-sabotage, a way of protecting himself from the pain of loss by preemptively rejecting those he loves. His journey in the film is one of self-discovery. He learns that his strength is not in his isolation but in his connection to his brothers. Physicality. Stallone, at 68, is still in remarkable shape. His physique is not the chiseled, steroid-fueled look of his youth, but a more rugged, battered, and realistic portrayal of an aging warrior. He moves with a deliberate, heavy-footed grace, relying more on brute force and tactical awareness than on speed. Signature traits: his trademark raspy voice, his squint, his signature punching style, the sly punch, and his ability to deliver a poignant one-liner in the midst of chaos. Dialogue analysis: his dialogue is often terse, minimalist, and world-weary. He speaks in aphorisms, offering words of wisdom that are often more cynical than inspirational. 2. Lee Christmas, Jason Statham. Psychological profile: Christmas is the anchor. He is the calm in the storm, the pragmatic professional who keeps the team focused. He is intensely loyal to Barney, which is why Barney's betrayal wounds him so deeply. He is a man of few words, but his actions speak volumes. He is the embodiment of quiet competence. He is also the film's romantic lead, though his romance with a local, a subplot that is mercifully brief, feels tacked on. Physicality: Statham is a physical marvel. His martial arts background and his experience in high-octane action films make him the perfect choice for the role. He is incredibly fast, precise, and fluid in his movements. Signature traits: his knife skills, his Cockney accent, and his ability to deliver a witty one-liner with a deadpan expression. Dialogue analysis: his dialogue is often sarcastic and dry, serving as a counterpoint to Barney's grim seriousness. He is the voice of reason, the one who questions bad plans. 3. Dr. Doc Death, Wesley Snipes. Psychological profile: Doc is a fascinating character. He is a man of science, he is a medic, and a man of violence, he is a killer. He is comfortable in both worlds, suggesting a man who has reconciled himself to his own nature. He doesn't seem to struggle with moral questions. He simply does what needs to be done. His time in prison is hinted at but not explored, leaving his backstory shrouded in mystery. Physicality: Snipes is known for his martial arts skills, and he brings that same athleticism to the role. He is quick, agile, and deadly. Signature traits: his calm demeanor, his surgical precision with a blade, and his disconcerting smile. Dialogue analysis: his dialogue is sparse and often chilling. He speaks in a soft, measured tone that is more threatening than a shout. 4. Gunnar Jensen, Dolph Lundgren. Psychological profile: Jensen is a volatile member of the team. He is a walking time bomb, prone to sudden outbursts of rage. He is also a surprisingly intelligent man. He has a degree in chemical engineering, which makes his volatility even more unsettling. He is a tragic figure, a man who is constantly at war with himself. Physicality: Lundgren is a giant, standing at over 6 feet tall. He is a physical presence, a man whose very size is intimidating. Signature traits: his explosive temper, his chemical expertise, and his love of heavy weapons. Dialogue analysis: his dialogue is often delivered in a low growl, mixing profanity with moments of surprising insight. Hale Caesar, Terry Crews. Psychological profile: Caesar is the team's physical powerhouse and the moral center. He is the heart of the team, the man who brings joy and laughter to the group. His injury is a devastating blow, not just physically but emotionally. He is the first to fall, and his fall forces the team to confront their own mortality. Physicality: Crews is a monument to physical fitness. He is incredibly strong and imposing, a walking tank. Signature traits: his booming laugh, his love of heavy weapons, and his unwavering optimism. Dialogue analysis: his dialogue is often humorous and lighthearted, a contrast to the grim tone of the film. Bonaparte, Kelsey Grammer. Miscasting: Grammer is a great actor, but he is miscast as a hardened mercenary recruiter. He is too soft, too refined. He brings his Fraser Crane persona to the role, which is tonally jarring. His character is a missed opportunity, a waste of a great actor. Dialogue: his dialogue is cynical and world-weary, but it lacks the menace of a true mercenary. 16. Garan Veda, Robert Davi. The underused villain. Davi is a fantastic character actor, a man who specializes in playing villains. His role as the head of the Albanian mafia is brief, but he makes an impression. He is killed off early, a waste of his talents. Part 3. The action. A technical breakdown, the train rescue, Act 1. Choreography. The sequence is a masterclass in practical, close-quarters combat. The choreography is based on the principles of Krav Maga, a system of self-defense that emphasizes real-world effectiveness. Cinematography. The camera is handheld and shaky, but it's not nauseating. It creates a sense of immediacy and chaos. Stunt work, the stunt team is top-notch. The leaps from the plane, the fights on top of the train, and the falls are all performed with precision and safety. Sound design, the sound of a train, the wind, the gunfire, and the fists hitting flesh are all perfectly balanced. It's an immersive experience. The Somali Firefight Act 2. Scale, this is a much larger battle, involving dozens of armed men. The explosions are bigger, the gunfire is more intense. Weaponry, the Expendables use a variety of weapons, from assault rifles to rocket-propelled grenades. The film doesn't shy away from showcasing the destructive power of modern weaponry. Tactics, the Expendables use a combination of fire and maneuver tactics, but they are outmatched by Stonebanks' superior firepower. The bombing, the scene where Stonebanks drops the bomb is a shocking moment. The explosion is immense, a reminder of the devastating power of modern weapons. The Bucharest Infiltration, Act 4. Stealth, this sequence is a departure from the previous action scenes. It's a stealth mission, a carefully planned operation. Technology, this is where Thorne's hacking skills are showcased. He disables the security systems, providing the team with a clear path. Tension, the sequence is built on tension, the fear of being discovered. The capture of Stonebanks is a triumph, a moment of success. But it's a temporary victory. The final battle, Act 7. Spectacle, this is the film's climax, and it is a spectacle. The battle involves tanks, helicopters, and hundreds of enemies. Coordinated attack, the Expendables attack from multiple directions, using a combination of firepower and tactics. The helicopter extraction, the arrival of Drummer and Trench provides a dramatic escape. The hand-to-hand fight, the fight between Barney and Stonebanks is a brutal, ugly affair. There is no choreography, no style. It's just two men trying to kill each other. Part 4. The what-ifs. A franchise's unrealized potential. What if the film had remained R-rated? The most significant what-if of the entire franchise. The film was originally shot with an R rating in mind. The violence was more graphic, the blood more plentiful. The decision to cut it down to PG-13 changed the entire tone of the film. What if they had kept the R rating? The action, the fight scenes would have been more visceral. Headshots would have been explosive. Knife fights would have been bloodier. The film would have had a much harder edge. The tone, the film would have felt more dangerous, more transgressive. It would have been a true throwback to the R-rated action films of the 1980s. The appeal, the core audience of the franchise, the fans who love the first two films, would have been much happier. The film would have felt more authentic. What if the original team hadn't been sidelined? This was a disastrous narrative decision. What if the film had focused on the original team's dynamic? The story could have focused on the team's internal conflicts, their struggles with aging, and their inability to adapt to a changing world. It could have been a more introspective, character-driven film. The banter, the dialogue would have been sharper, the humor more natural. The actors have a genuine chemistry that was wasted. The action would have been more focused, featuring the veteran team using their tried-and-true tactics. The film would have felt more like a classic Expendables movie. What if the young blood had been better written? The new characters are the film's biggest weakness. What if they had been better developed? Backstory. Give them backstories, motivations, and personalities. Explain why they chose to become mercenaries. Make them feel like real people, not just archetypes. Chemistry. Give them a chance to bond with each other, to form their own camaraderie. Show them learning from the veterans. Redemption. Allow them to prove their worth, not just through their skills, but through their character. What if the ending had been different? Barney's decision to kill Stonebanks is a moral low point. What if he had chosen the good path? The film would have been about redemption, about a man choosing to be better than his nature. The message, the film would have suggested that there is a difference between justice and vengeance, and that even mercenaries can have principles. The setup, it would have set up a fourth film where the Expendables are operating as a more legitimate force, working with the CIA to take down other villains, the Expendables versus John Wick. Similarities. Both are action franchises that emphasize practical effects and intense choreography. Differences. John Wick is a world-building franchise. It has created a unique mythology, a secret society of assassins with its own rules and codes. It has a distinct visual style, a blend of neon and shadow. The Expendables, lacks this kind of world building. Why John Wick succeeded? John Wick succeeded because it respected its audience. It offered a deep, immersive world with complex characters and spectacular action. The Expendables was always more superficial, relying on the charisma of its stars. Psychological profile. Yang is the team's martial artist, a silent but deadly presence. His role is significantly reduced in this installment, appearing only as a cameo. He has gone to work with Trench, suggesting that the old team has truly scattered. His absence is a loss, but his brief appearance in the final battle is a welcome moment of fan service. Physicality. Lee is a martial arts legend, known for his speed, agility, and precision. Signature traits. His lightning-fast moves, his stoic demeanor, and his quiet competence. Dialogue analysis. His dialogue is minimal, often limited to a few lines of Mandarin. 7. Trench Mauser, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Psychological profile. Trench is Barney's rival and friend. He is the only man who can match Barney's intensity. He is a leader in his own right, commanding his own team. He represents a different kind of leadership, one that is perhaps more pragmatic and less emotionally driven. Physicality. Schwarzenegger, even in his late 60s, is still a physical marvel. He brings his trademark muscularity and charisma to the role. Signature traits. His accent, his iconic one-liners, some of which are hilarious parodies of his earlier work, and his commanding presence. Dialogue analysis. His dialogue is full of classic one-liners, delivered with a twinkle in his eye. The New Blood, an analysis of Failure 8. John Smiley, Kellan Lutz. Psychological profile. Smiley is the good soldier. He is competent, loyal, and eager to please, but he is also bland. He lacks the quirks and flaws of the veteran Expendables. He is a blank slate, a character defined only by his military training. He is meant to represent the future, but he is a future without personality. Physicality. Lutz is fit and athletic, but he lacks the screen presence of the older actors. He is overshadowed by them. Signature traits. His military bearing, his proficiency with firearms, and his use of a motorcycle. Dialogue analysis. His dialogue is generic, filled with military jargon and cliches. 9. Luna Ronda Rousey. Psychological profile. Luna is the strong, silent type. She is a fierce fighter, but she's given little to do besides fight. She is the film's token female, a character who exists to be a feminist icon, but is never fully developed as a person. Physicality. Rousey is a genuine MMA fighter, and her physicality is undeniable. She is powerful, athletic, and aggressive. Her fight scenes are a highlight of the film. Signature traits. Her judo throws, her intense stare, and her quiet demeanor. Dialogue analysis. Her dialogue is minimal, often consisting of a single word or a short phrase. 10. Thorne Glen Powell. Psychological profile. Thorne is the tech expert, the geek of the group. He is arrogant and condescending, believing that his superior intellect makes him better than the veterans. He is a coward, hiding behind his technology rather than fighting hand-to-hand. He represents the modern battlefield, a world where drones and hacking replace guns and knives. Physicality. Powell is fit, but he is not a physical fighter. He relies on his intellect and his gadgets. Signature traits. His laptop, his drone, his hacker skills, and his sarcastic remarks. Dialogue analysis. His dialogue is often pedantic and condescending, designed to showcase his superior intelligence. 11. Mars, Victor Ortiz. Psychological profile. Mars is a weapons expert, but he is a cipher. He has no personality, no backstory, no defining characteristics. He is simply a body with a gun. His casting suggests the filmmakers were more interested in his name recognition, he is a boxer, than his acting ability. Physicality. Ortiz is athletic, but his performance is stiff and unconvincing. Signature traits. His proficiency with firearms. Dialogue analysis. His dialogue is minimal and forgettable. 12. Galgo Antonio Banderas. Psychological profile. Galgo is the comedic relief, but he is also the most successful of the new characters. He is a man who is desperate to be a hero, a dreamer who refuses to accept his own limitations. He is persistent, optimistic, and surprisingly skilled. He is the underdog who wins through sheer force of will. Physicality. Banderas, in his mid-50s, is still in great shape. He is not as physically imposing as Stallone or Schwarzenegger, but he is agile and energetic. Signature traits: his fast talking, his exaggerated stories, his constant boasting, and his surprisingly accurate shooting. Dialogue analysis: his dialogue is a rapid-fire stream of consciousness, filled with exaggeration and self-aggrandizement. It's a parody of the classic action hero. The villain, a masterclass in Menace 13. Conrad Stonebanks, Mel Gibson. Psychological profile: Stonebanks is the most complex character in the film. He is not a one-dimensional villain. He is a man with a history, a grievance, and a philosophy. He believes he is the victim, that Barney betrayed him. He sees his arms dealing as a natural evolution of his mercenary work. He is intelligent, charismatic, and utterly ruthless. He is the dark mirror of Barney, a man who chose power over loyalty. Physicality: Gibson, in his late 50s, is still physically fit. He moves with a predatory grace, a man who is always in control. His fight scenes are brutal and effective. Signature traits: his charisma, his piercing blue eyes, his calm demeanor, which makes his violence all the more terrifying, and his intellectual arguments. He doesn't just want to defeat Barney, he wants to convert him, to make him see the truth. Dialogue analysis: his dialogue is philosophical and persuasive. He speaks with a quiet intensity, drawing the listener in, making them question their own beliefs. He is the most articulate character in the film. The supporting cast: 14. Agent Max, drummer, Harrison Ford. The weight of legacy: Ford's presence adds a layer of legitimacy to the film. He is an icon, a symbol of classic American heroism. His character, however, is a bit of a cipher. He is a CIA agent, a man who works behind the scenes. He is there to provide the mission and the moral justification for it. He is less a character and more a plot device. Dialogue: he delivers his lines with typical Fordian gruffness. You don't play by the rules, you don't get to write them. It's a classic Ford line, but it feels a bit worn. Part 6. The legacy. The franchise's slow death. The impact of the leak. The unauthorized leak of the film was a catastrophic event. It demonstrated the vulnerability of the film industry to digital piracy. It also had a significant impact on the film's box office. The numbers: it was estimated that the leak was downloaded over 2 million times in the first week. If even a fraction of those downloads translated into lost ticket sales, the impact would have been significant. The legal action. Lionsgate's lawsuit was a necessary response, but it was a losing battle. The law is slow to adapt to the digital age, and the pirates are always one step ahead. The psychological impact. The leak created a sense of doom around the film. It felt like the film was already a failure before it was even released. The rating controversy. The PG-13 rating was a betrayal of the fan base. It was a decision that was driven by the desire to make more money, but it backfired spectacularly. The betrayal. The core audience of the franchise felt betrayed. They had been promised an R-rated action film, and they were given a watered-down version. The miscalculation. The filmmakers believed that a PG-13 rating would attract a younger audience, but they failed to realize that the older audience was the franchise's primary demographic. The aftermath. Stallone has since admitted that the PG-13 rating was a mistake. It's a rare moment of candor from a star who rarely admits fault. The franchise's diminishing returns. The box office performance of the franchise tells a story of decline. The Expendables, 2010, $274.5 million worldwide. The Expendables 2, 2012, $314.9 million worldwide. The Expendables 3, 2014, $214.7 million worldwide. Expend4bles, 2023, $51 million worldwide. The pattern is clear. The franchise peaked with the second film and has been in decline ever since. The third film was the turning point, the moment when the decline became irreversible. The ghost of Expend4bles. The fourth film, Expend4bles, was an even bigger disaster than the third. It proved that the franchise had completely lost its way. It was a cheap, soulless cash grab that failed to recapture any of the magic of the original. The casting of Expend4bles was bizarre. It included rappers 50 Cent, internet personalities Andy Garcia, and actors who were clearly cast for their name recognition, not their action chops. The absence of Stallone was a major blow. The vibe, the film felt cheap and rushed. The action was poorly choreographed, the dialogue was terrible, and the special effects were subpar. The legacy, Expendables, is the final nail in the coffin. It proves that the franchise is dead, a zombie shambling through the box office. Part 7. The technical credits, the unsung heroes. The director, Patrick Hughes. Hughes was a relatively unknown director when he was hired for The Expendables 3. His only previous feature was the low-budget Australian thriller Red Hill. He was a strange choice for such a high-profile project. His style, Hughes is a competent director, but he lacks a strong visual style. He doesn't have the flair of Simon West, The Expendables 2, or the raw energy of Stallone, The Expendables. He is a workmanlike director, a man who can execute a plan, but who doesn't have a unique vision. His challenge, Hughes was tasked with directing a massive ensemble cast, many of whom are larger-than-life personalities. He needed to manage their egos, coordinate the action, and deliver a film that would satisfy both the studio and the fans. He failed to do this. His future, Hughes has gone on to direct other films, including The Hitman's Bodyguard and its sequel. He has found success in the action genre, but he remains a director who is more reliable than remarkable. The screenwriters, Creighton Rothenberger, Katrin Benedict, and Sylvester Stallone. The film's script is its biggest weakness. It's a messy, overstuffed screenplay that tries to do too much. Rothenberger and Benedict, the duo is known for their work on Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen. They specialize in patriotic, action-oriented thrillers. Their script for The Expendables 3 is functional but uninspired. Stallone's influence. Stallone was heavily involved in the writing process. His fingerprints are all over the script, from the dialogue to the character arcs. But even he couldn't save it from its fundamental problems. The problem, the script is a compromise. It tries to be both a classic Expendables film and a modern action film. It tries to appeal to both the old guard and the new blood. In the end, it appeals to neither. The cinematographer, Peter Menzies Jr. Menzies is a veteran cinematographer who has worked on a wide range of films, from The Recruit to The Chronicles of Narnia. His work on The Expendables 3 is competent but unremarkable. His style, Menzies uses a lot of handheld camera work, which creates a sense of immediacy and chaos. He also uses a lot of slow motion, which adds a sense of grandeur to the action. The look, the film has a slightly desaturated look, which gives it a gritty, realistic feel. The colors are muted, the shadows are deep. The problem, the film lacks a distinctive visual identity. It looks like any other action movie. There is no signature shot, no iconic image that defines the film. The composer, Brian Tyler. Tyler is a prolific film composer who has worked on a wide range of films, from Iron Man 3 to Avengers, Age of Ultron. His score for The Expendables 3 is bombastic and epic. His style, Tyler's score is a mix of orchestral and electronic elements. It's loud, aggressive, and designed to get the audience pumped up. The influence, the score is heavily influenced by the action scores of the 1980s, particularly the work of composers like Jerry Goldsmith and James Horner. The effect, the score is effective in enhancing the action. It makes the explosions bigger, the fights more intense. But it lacks a memorable theme, the kind of melody that gets stuck in your head. Part 8. The cultural context, the politics of violence. The post. 9/11 world. The Expendables franchise is a product of the post. 9/11 world. It's a fantasy about a group of men who can solve the world's problems with violence. It's a nostalgic look back at a time when the world seemed simpler, when good and evil were more clearly defined. The villains in the franchise are often generic bad guys, warlords, arms dealers, dictators. They are not drawn from real-world conflicts, but from the imagination of the filmmakers. The politics. The films are politically conservative. They embrace a simplistic, America is good narrative. They celebrate the use of force to achieve political goals. The fantasy. The films are a fantasy for men who feel powerless in a complex world. They offer a world where problems can be solved with a bullet and a one-liner. The war on terror. The war on terror is a shadow that hangs over the franchise. The Expendables are mercenaries, but they are often seen as doing the work that the US government cannot do officially. The CIA. The presence of Harrison Ford's CIA character in The Expendables 3 is significant. It suggests that the Expendables are now working for the government, acting as a black ops unit. The moral ambiguity. The film's moral ambiguity is a reflection of a war on terror. The line between good and evil is blurred. Sometimes you have to do bad things to achieve good goals. The violence in the franchise escalates with each film. The body count rises. The destruction becomes more widespread. It's a reflection of the endless nature of the war on terror. Toxic masculinity versus brotherhood. The Expendables franchise is often criticized for its portrayal of masculinity. The characters are hypermasculine. They're strong, violent, and emotionally repressed. The critique. Critics argue that the franchise promotes a toxic form of masculinity. The characters are unable to express their emotions. They solve their problems with violence, and they treat women as objects. The defense. Defenders of the franchise argue that it celebrates brotherhood, not toxic masculinity. The characters are loyal to each other, and they are willing to sacrifice themselves for their friends. The reality. The franchise is a product of its time. It reflects a certain kind of masculinity that was more prevalent in the 1980s. It's a nostalgic look at a past that never really existed. The decline of the male action hero. The Expendables franchise is a reflection of the decline of the traditional male action hero. The characters are aging, they are losing their relevance, and they are being replaced by younger, more diverse heroes. The aging heroes. Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and Ford are all in their 60s and 70s. They are no longer the young, invincible heroes they once were. They are slower, more vulnerable, and more aware of their mortality. The new heroes. The young heroes of the franchise, Lutz, Rousey, Powell, Ortiz, are not action heroes in the traditional sense. They are more diverse, more technologically savvy, and less physically imposing. The end of an era. The Expendables franchise represents the end of an era in Hollywood. The era of the macho, muscle-bound action hero is over. Part 9. A scene-by-scene analysis. This section will analyze each major scene in the film, breaking down its purpose, its technique, and its effectiveness. Scene 1. The opening credits and the mission briefing. Purpose. To establish the mood and set the stage. The opening credits are a montage of images of war and violence. Technique. The credits are overlaid on images of the characters and the action. The font is bold and aggressive. Effectiveness. The credits are effective in establishing the film's tone. They tell the audience that this is going to be a loud, violent, and action-packed film. Scene 2. The train rescue. Purpose. To showcase the team's skills and introduce Dr. Death. Technique. The sequence is a mix of handheld camera work and slow motion. It's a high-octane, adrenaline-fueled action scene. Effectiveness. The sequence is highly effective. It's a classic Expendables action scene, a reminder of why the franchise is so popular. Scene 3. The Somalia drop and firefight. Purpose. To introduce Stonebanks and reveal his connection to Barney. Technique. The sequence is a large-scale battle, involving dozens of armed men. The explosions are bigger, the gunfire is more intense. Effectiveness. The sequence is effective in raising the stakes and introducing the film's central conflict. Scene 4. The hospital scene. Purpose. To establish the emotional stakes and show Barney's guilt. Technique. The sequence is a quiet, intimate scene, a contrast to the previous action. Effectiveness. The scene is effective in showing Barney's emotional turmoil. It's a rare moment of vulnerability for the character. Scene 5. The Las Vegas recruitment. Purpose. To introduce the young blood and show Barney's rejection of the original team. Technique. The sequence is a montage, a series of short scenes that show Barney recruiting the new team. Effectiveness. The sequence is less effective. The young blood are not as compelling as the original team. Scene 6. The Bucharest infiltration. Purpose. To showcase the young blood's skills and capture Stonebanks. Technique. The sequence is a stealth mission, a carefully planned operation. Effectiveness. The sequence is effective in showing the team's capabilities, but it lacks the energy of the earlier action scenes. Scene 7. The interrogation. Purpose. To reveal Stonebanks' backstory and challenge Barney's morality. Technique. The sequence is a dialogue-driven scene, a war of words. Effectiveness. The sequence is highly effective. It's the film's best scene, a showcase for Mel Gibson's acting ability. Scene 8. The reunion of the Expendables. Purpose. To bring the original team back together. Technique. The sequence is a simple, emotional scene. Effectiveness. The The sequence is effective in providing the film with an emotional core. Scene 9. The final battle. Purpose: to bring the film to a thrilling climax. Technique: the sequence is a massive, sprawling action scene involving tanks, helicopters, and hundreds of enemies. Effectiveness: the sequence is effective in providing a satisfying, action-packed conclusion. Scene 10. The final confrontation. Purpose: to resolve the conflict between Barney and Stonebanks. Technique: the sequence is a brutal, hand-to-hand fight. Effectiveness: the sequence is effective in providing a dramatic, emotionally charged climax. Scene 11. The aftermath. Purpose: to provide a sense of closure. Technique: the sequence is a quiet, celebratory scene. Effectiveness: the sequence is effective in providing a sense of resolution, but it feels a bit forced. Part 10. The final verdict. A masterpiece of failure. The Expendables 3 is not just a bad film, it's a fascinating failure. It's a film that tried to do everything and ended up doing nothing well. It's a film that alienated its core audience while failing to attract a new one. It's a film that is both a product of its time and a victim of it. The film's problems are numerous. The PG-13 rating neutered the action. The decision to sideline the original team was a narrative disaster. The young blood were poorly written and miscast. The direction was flat. The story was overstuffed. But the film also has its moments. Mel Gibson's performance is a highlight. The camaraderie of the original team is still enjoyable. The action, when it works, is impressive. The film is a testament to the enduring appeal of the action genre. In the end, The Expendables 3 is a cautionary tale. It's a reminder that nostalgia is a powerful force, but it can't carry a franchise forever. It's a reminder that sacrificing your identity for a broader audience is a risky gamble. It's a reminder that sometimes, the best thing you can do is to know when to quit. The franchise, however, did not quit. Expendables was released in 2023. A film so bad that it made The Expendables 3 look like a masterpiece. It's a sad, pathetic end for a franchise that started with so much promise. The Expendables may have survived the third film, but the franchise itself did not survive the fourth. It's a legacy of lost potential, a testament to what happens when you forget who you are. Part 11. Trivia and Easter eggs. The I'll Be Back parody. When Trent Schwarzenegger is asked by Barney if he's coming back, he quips, "I'll be back." He then mutters, "I hate that line." It's a classic moment of self-parody. The Rambo homage. Barney's solo escape from the river, where he fights off a group of enemies with his knife, is a direct homage to Rambo, First Blood Part 2. The Predator reference. When Barney is looking for the young blood, he says, "We need a team of professionals. You know, like a pack of hunters. The kind that are in the jungle. You know, a predator pack." It's a playful reference to the 1987 film Predator. The knife scene. Lee Christmas's line to a henchman, "You've been knifed before," is a quote from the original The Expendables. The Russian connection. Dolph Lundgren's character, Gunnar Jensen, is Swedish, but he often speaks in Russian. This is a callback to his role as Ivan Drago in Rocky IV. The Harrison Ford connection. Harrison Ford's character, Max Drummer, is a CIA agent. Ford played CIA agent Jack Ryan in Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. The Mel Gibson connection. Mel Gibson's character, Conrad Stonebanks, is a villain. Gibson has played villains before, most notably in The Man Without a Face and Payback. However, his role in The Expendables 3 is more complex than those earlier roles. The deleted scenes. The Blu-ray release of the film includes a number of deleted scenes. These scenes are mostly character moments that were cut from the theatrical release. They provide some insight into the characters, but they don't fundamentally change the film. The pop art posters. The film's marketing campaign featured a series of 16 character posters designed in a pop art style. The posters were a vibrant, colorful contrast to the film's grim aesthetic. The soundtrack. The film's soundtrack is a mix of classic rock songs and an original score by Brian Tyler. The classic rock songs provide a nostalgic backdrop to the action. Part 12. Further reading and viewing recommended viewing. The original Expendables, to see the franchise at its best. The Expendables 2, to see the franchise at its most successful. Expendables, to see the franchise at its worst. Predator, 1987 to understand the action movie aesthetic that the Expendables franchise is trying to emulate. Die Hard, 1988 to understand the archetype of the lone action hero. Lethal Weapon, 1987 to understand the buddy cop dynamic. The A-Team, 1983 to 1987 to understand the team of mercenaries trope. Recommended reading: The Expendables, the official movie novelization by David R. Ellis, a novelization of the first film. The Expendables 2, the official movie novelization by David R. Ellis, a novelization of the second film. The Expendables 3, the official movie novelization by David R. Ellis, a novelization of the third film. Sylvester Stallone, a life and film by James Bawden, a biography of the star. Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Life of a Legend by Wendy Lee, a biography of the star. Mel Gibson, the biography by Peter McDonnell, a biography of the star. Part 13. Conclusion, the final word. The Expendables 3 is a film that is greater than the sum of its parts. It's a film that fails in many ways, but it also succeeds in ways that are unexpected. It's a film that is both a celebration of the action genre and a critique of it. It's a film that is both a tribute to the past and a warning about the future. It's a film that is ultimately a sad, poignant, and deeply flawed masterpiece of failure. The film is a reflection of the end of an era. The era of the muscle-bound, one-man army action hero is over. The characters of the Expendables franchise are aging, and they are struggling to find their place in a world that no longer needs them. They are dinosaurs, and their extinction is imminent. But the film is also a testament to the power of nostalgia. Even as the characters fail, they remain compelling. We root for them because we remember who they used to be. We root for them because they represent a simpler time, a time when good and evil were more clearly defined. The Expendables 3 is a film that will be debated for years to come. It's a film that will be remembered for its failures as much as its successes. It's a film that will be studied by film scholars as an example of a franchise that lost its way. It's a film that will be enjoyed by fans who can look past its flaws and appreciate its moments of brilliance. Ultimately, The Expendables 3 is a film about a group of men who are trying to hold on to their relevance in a world that is rapidly changing. They are fighting a battle that they cannot win, but they are fighting it anyway. It's a noble sentiment, but it's also a tragic one. It's a story that is both timeless and timely, and it's a story that will continue to resonate with audiences for years to come. The franchise, however, is dead. It may be resurrected, rebooted, or reimagined, but it will never be what it once was. The era of the classic action hero is over, and The Expendables 3 is its eulogy.